Noninkables.
Hello and welcome to Noninkables. Hello and welcome to Noninkables. We are on podcast episode number 41. I don't know why it took me so long to figure out how to remove the blur so you can see the cool background. If you haven't watched the studio tour before, it has the Stitch Championship mat. That's my first one. The Ursula one, actually, I didn't win. That one was gifted to us by Tyler. That was also the set I got knocked. That was also the set I got knocked out of top 8 twice by Tyler. And then the Mira, the Scar. I didn't get a Hero Hamada one, but I did end up buying one from someone who won. I bought it from Kenny, who got, I think, like 2 or 3 that set. And I think we only played in like 3 set champs that set. And the first set champs we played in, we were playing Chief Bogo, and I played the wrong Helga. So instead of playing the green Helga, which is a Bloodborne character that deals damage, I played the Steel Helga, which is like a 0-4 challenger. And I was like, I don't know why this is in the deck. It's horrible. And then after that, kind of ran out of room. And so there's like no more mats up there. And then we have the Cinderella one we got from the DLCs the first season. And then that is a mat we got at Gen Con. And then these are all of it's set 1 through 5 enchanted. And then I bought these really cool frames from Kanto Forge. I think they're on Etsy. And so they kind of like extend the art of each of the ones. And then you can see like some of the horizontal ones. Those are just stupid locations that just mess up the flow. And then we have our storage. So impromptu tour, I guess. This is like sets 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9, 10 on the side. I'm going to figure out how to like make that a little bit better because it's kind of annoying that there's one space aside. And then these black boxes on the top have all of our extra foils. And I did end up organizing all of them in order of set and then in order of number to try and basically prevent Brian from buying foils we already have. So he likes to foil out his decks. And then before they were like a mess. So you would have to like look through they were sorted, I think, by set only and maybe by color. But you would have to look through the whole thing to figure out if we had it already. And so sometimes he was like, oh, I'll just buy them because they're really cheap, which is why we own, I think, 16 foil croquet mallets. So in order to try to prevent that from happening more, we just have them there. And that way we can see if we have the foil. I also updated this past week our Dreamboard account so that the collection on there is very accurate for our play sets, our enchanted, and then our foils. So like every single bulk foil is listed in Dreamboard, whether we have them or not. So you don't have to actually like look for it. All the extra like cards, I didn't list because that's too many. And we only keep rare and above. Like bulk, we either donate or they get repurposed for other arts and crafts or thrown away. So it's really just rare and above, and it's still too many cards. By too many cards. Okay, so impromptu room tour. Okay, so this past weekend, it played at the Glimmer of Hope tournament in Games of Fremont. Me and Brian went, and it was a tournament for charity. We ended up raising $1,000, and it was super fun. I hadn't decided on a set, and I was like working a lot last week, so I didn't have any time to practice. So I ended up taking Kiwi Birds over there. So Harlan Sweet's Blue Steel aggro deck. Because I figured, I was like, okay, it's like an aggro deck, so I probably don't need like that much practice. I can just kind of play cards, turn them sideways, and be okay. And I ended up placing, I think, 10th overall. It's one of like the few tournaments, I feel like since we switched to PlayHub, a lot of the tournaments you can't tell what the final result is because somehow it like stops getting updated. But this one actually, like, it showed like that it was completed and all that and had like final standings, which was really cool. I'm trying to look up in the end because I don't actually know how Brian finished, because I'm so conceited and I only care about how I did. Okay, let's see. Round 8 standing. Brian ended up 22nd. So he went 2 and 3 and I went 3 and 2. There was a 3 and 2 that did make it into top 8. It was not me. And it was ultimately won by Justin, one of our locals. He was playing Purple Steel. I think he was one of 2 players who played Purple Steel. Second place was Brian, not my Brian, a different Brian. And he was playing Blurple. And I don't know who that third place person is. Fourth place was Steven, because his name is Steven. And then 5th was Tegan, 6th was Ibai, 7th was Studded, and 8th was Unisaur. So yeah, so I did up 10th. It was pretty fun. We played the games, and then by entering, they had like a surprise gift for everybody, which was the putting it all together card from the Zootopia movie, which is great because I did not see that in theaters. And then you got an entry into a raffle, and then they gave out so many raffle prizes. I want to say like maybe 10 different raffle prizes. And I did win one of the raffles. I got a Lotso bear from Japan. So it's a keychain that also has these little clips so that you could clip them to your shirt that the picture shows. Clippable to your shirt. He does not smell like strawberries though, which is a little disappointing, but super cute. I think the other prizes, somebody got a D100, that like special set that came out in set 2 of cards, and then 2 people got the Lilo gift box. One person got a mat. Well, technically they got a mat, but like even though the organizer ordered them in October, they still weren't there. They're going to get there like Monday, which would be yesterday. And then the winner got like the champion mat, and they did like, it was like 2 Mickey hands. It kind of looked like Michelangelo hands a little bit, which is cute. And then like the top, the like, I guess most coveted prizes were like, oh, this raffle's for this. But then at the end, it was like, you could just pick from what's left. And I think there was like a Ravensburger puzzle. Somebody picked like a bunch of Disney VHS tapes and like actual VHS tapes. And then there were like pins. So somebody got the gold Mickey Mouse pin that they gave out at Gen Con last year. So it was fun. Also cool because my Brian, didn't win the raffle, which is very odd for him because he always wins something from the raffle. But yeah, so cool. All right, let's see. Okay, for that one, I played Kiwi. Round 1, my opponent didn't show up, so I got a free win. And then Brian's opponent didn't show up either, so he also got a free win. And then we played each other for fun. He was playing green-purple, and I beat him because my deck, I got lucky. I went like Mulan, Nala Nala, Ichabod Crane, something like that, something crazy, fast. And then I think the way PlayHub works, it's actually like not that great if your opponent shows up because I think it decreases their only tiebreaker that they use is opponent match win. And so if your opponent doesn't show up, then your opponent match win percentage, I think, probably going to be 0% because they lost to you and then they are dropped from the tournament. So I feel like that's actually worse if your opponent doesn't show up. I don't know. I haven't really looked into it. But anyways, round 2, I played Dane, who's kind of like new to Lorcana. He joined Fabled, and he was playing a red steel locations deck. So played all the new locations like Illuminary Tunnels, Castle Wolverine, and Utopia. I don't think what other. He also had the Seven Dwarfs Mine in there. And I got very lucky, I think, against that deck because if you know the Kiwi deck, right, it's aggro. So my characters are mostly, I got a lot of 0-2 characters, so no strength, very little willpower. And so I don't really have that many things to counteract location. And then I think it's the Castle Werwin or it's the Tunnels. One of those is like for every location you have in play, if you have a character here, you get like 1 more lore. And so it's possible for that location to get 4 lore in 1 turn passively. And then you play John Silver and he quests before. It's crazy. So I had to do so much math. I got lucky in the first game because I drew 2 Lexingtons, which are 4/4. So I had actually something to like get rid of the locations. And then the second game, I feel like I got pretty lucky both games in terms of being able to draw at least some like, I think I played Ichabod Crane, and so then he ramped me so then I could play 2 Headless Horsemen, which are both 4/4. So I could like stop the locations for a sec and like get rid of the locations and then get rid of the John Silver. But both games were super, super close. Like 1 turn away from, he needed 1 more turn to win. And so I won that one. And then in my round 3, I played against Brian, not my Brian, the other Brian, who was playing Blurple. And I mean, part of it, I was betrayed by my own deck. And part of it, I don't really know how to play Blue Steel. But also, my deck decided in the beginning of the game that I needed all my big cards, like Gauntooth and Goliath. So I had to ink all my big cards in the beginning. And then when I needed actual things to attack, my deck was like, oh, you want an Ichabod Crane now? You want a Nala? I was like, oh, I can't even attack you because all my stuff is just 0-2. And so I lost that game. I think I don't know if I lost 2-1 or I got 0-2'd. Probably I got 0-2'd. Yeah. And then in round 4, I played against Tegan, who was playing red-blue. Tegan's usual deck is Kiwi Birds, so she knows that deck very, very well. And the card that I found to be the biggest issue in her deck is the Goliath. That is a 5/5. Very hard for me to attack that character. Also, then once she got a Hercules down, then I was like, I can't quest, which is what my deck is supposed to do. It was just all bad. And then my final round, I played against Kay, who was on green-blue. And Kay said he's like a very casual player. And so I think part of that was the issue because he would play like MMS without being able to play the Prince Philip. And then he would play the Prince Philip like next turn. I think part of it was he didn't realize that the little Prince Philip had ward, so there's no way for me to strength his little Philip. And then he would like not wait to get all the pieces of the combo before doing it. So he would do like piecemeal so that it wouldn't actually board wipe. Yeah, so that was the tournament. In the end, though, not bad for a deck that I literally picked the night before and had not practiced. I think I played maybe 8 games online before the tournament. But I was also very happy because I was very hungry and I didn't actually really want to make it to top by the time. But the time it was like round 4 and round 5, I knew I was like not going to make it to top 8 and was actually very okay with it because I was hungry and I wanted to get hot pot. And we did get hot pot afterwards. We got tasty pot. Brian got the Taiwan Supreme. And then I got the Sichuan Spicy, which was delicious. I usually get that one. And it's the first time they've given it to me with like a sauce on the side. It was like a hoisin sesame oil garlic sauce, which is, I think, very classically Sichuan because usually I would make the garlic sesame oil anyways. Although the hoisin is an interesting add to add some sugar to it, which I may be incorporating in my future hot pot things. For example, in Richmond, because there are 3 hot pot places like 20 minutes away from the DLC Richmond, which was literally the first thing I looked up when they announced the location for the DLC. So very interesting. Let's see what else. Oh, I did receive my case of Whispers that I had ordered. I was trying to get more Headless Horsemen because I had accidentally, I think, mispacked a Headless Horseman. So there was someone who was supposed to get 3 red Headless Horsemen, and I gave him 3 steel ones. And so I sent 3 from our playset, and I was like, I'll just buy a case and probably get it. I got 1 regular, but then I did get an enchanted Headless Horseman, so I feel like it was worth it, maybe. I don't know, girl math. And then it was a pretty good case because it had 2 Cinderellas. It had, I think, 2 Demonas and 2 Hades, which I've all sold on the store. So I feel like I kind of maybe at least half made my money back. And then we've just been receiving all the orders that I ordered over Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend. And so every day we get like 4 to 5 packages of just cards that we've ordered. Oh, the other thing is at Glimmer of Hope, I was able to get a Pull the Lever foil from Josie. So Pull the Lever is a card that I kept buying, and I kept buying the promo accidentally. And then I think either we never pulled a regular one or like a regular foil, or I sold the regular foil when it was like up, thinking that we had a regular foil in the master set, but we actually didn't have any regular foils. They were just all promo cards. And then this time over Black Friday, I ordered a regular one, and then they sent me the promo. And so I still didn't have it, but then luckily Josie had one, so she just gave it to me. So finally that set is complete, and we have all the foils for it. And so I think the only foil that we're still missing out of all the sets is the Cinderella foil from this set, which I'm kind of waiting to buy because it's expensive right now, and maybe it'll go down. Maybe it'll be one of those cards that goes down because, like, you know, all the cards that we thought would stay expensive have gone down. So like Maui Shark was really expensive, Tamatoa was really expensive. So I'm just gonna wait because it's like a master set. We can wait like forever, and I feel like in future sets we may get like packs to open. We may still pull it. So yeah. So that's for this past weekend. I didn't actually do any map foiling or puzzles or anything else lorcana adjacent, just because I've been really busy. This weekend is Infinity weekend, and I don't know if I'm going to play in any Infinity. So taking my daughter to my parents' house in Vegas, so we're going to be flying out on Saturday. That kind of like prevents us from playing on anything in Saturday. And then I don't know if I want to just bring a deck and find somewhere in Vegas to play on Sunday, or if I just will buy the promo later on TCG Player. Although I do really like playing Infinity, and I had a great time playing it in Milwaukee. I would probably play the same deck, like blue steel items with like Pete and stuff. It's just, I think Infinity for me is just super fun because it forces you to remember all these cards that you forgot existed. Like the first time they whole new worlded me in Infinity, or played Be Prepared, And I'm like, oh yeah, that is a card. Or they brawl, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's a card. When they played Jafar Wheel against me, I was like, oh, these things I have to play around. Like the first time you get Rapunzel trapped in Infinity, you're like, oh yeah, that is a thing. My bad. And so I don't know. I mean, I have a feeling I probably won't go through the whole effort of like bringing a deck, finding a place to play, borrowing my parents' car. They live in like a gated community that I find very difficult to get out of and back in sometimes. It's kind of annoying. So, and there's like multiple entrances, and some of the things don't connect because like really big gated community. And so I may just play it online and call it a day. What else? Oh, now I have to be serious. So I think, okay, so I've been testing, and by testing, I mean I've been playing best of one of basically the old blue steel deck. So sometimes it's called 246, so you ramp twice, that one. I've been testing the version with no strength because I often feel like my strength can deal maybe like 2 damage, maybe 3. It's never a lot. Also because anytime I can deal a lot of damage with my strength, I'm already winning, so I don't even need it. So it's a version that doesn't play strength. It plays like Ink Runner, which I think is a cool card, and I've been trying to put in anyways, and then some spooky sights, and then just He Hurled His Thunderbolt for removal. And so far, I mean, I don't have a lot of reps on it. So far, it seems to be pretty okay. Although I did lose. I lost to a red-green deck. I may have been playing against Ben because I feel like he's the one person I've seen talk about this deck a lot, but it plays, just so you guys are aware, in case you see it, it plays King of Hearts, the green one, which is like, he has the ability where damaged characters can't attack your character. And then it plays the Queen of Hearts, where every time you play a character, you have to put a damage on it. So like you play a character and it basically can't attack unless it has, I guess. I don't think even resist gets around it because I'm pretty sure, I don't know if it's deal a damage or put a damage, but so then I couldn't like attack his King of Hearts. And then I ended up removing one with like a Hades. And then I couldn't remove the other where he like played another, like a third one. And so I lost to green red. I was like, this is so demoralizing. But other than like the weird decks, I mean, I think I've lost against Blurple because I'm still not quite sure how to play against that matchup. It was tough last set, and I feel like it's still tough. Tyler did tell me I should play one deck the whole set, which I've already not listened to. But maybe now is when I decide. I don't know, because I feel like every tournament, the meta changes a little bit. There's a little bit more red-purple or purple-steel, right? And then now all of a sudden, like, Blurple is back. Van took that, like, yellow-purple deck, so maybe we'll see that. Spetsy's playing the aggro green-purple deck, which I did try, and then immediately I was like, I don't like this. It's just like Kiwi Birds. You can't attack. I also, after playing at Glimmer of Hope, was like, no, I don't like the style of Kiwi Birds because all my babies are weak. And if the game goes on too long, I can't do anything, right? And so I think control-y stuff is still, at least mid-range, maybe control is still more my style. And so I think I'm going to just practice Blue Steel and like really lock in and try to get as many reps as possible before Richmond. I think. I say that, but I don't know. I changed my mind so much. And then I don't know when I'm going to practice because I'm out of town all next week. Maybe I can play a bit at my parents' house online. And then after that, I have to practice because we're playing it's called a Hustle in 2 weekends in Sacramento. And that's kind of like the last big tournament before the holidays. And then it's kind of like holidays. And like Christmas holiday week, I'm working like an insane amount. Although this will be like my last Christmas, I think, working that much. Because now that I'm no longer in charge, I no longer am responsible. And I'm going to request Christmas off. And if they say no, I'm going to be very mad because I have worked every single Christmas since I started this job, which was in technically 2020 for this managing group, but really 2018 at this hospital. And I feel like my entire life since med school, I've always worked Christmas. I guess not med school, residency. Since residency on, I've always worked Christmas because I didn't really care, but maybe now I do. So yeah, we've got to practice for it's called a hustle. And then I think you can still buy tickets. There's going to be a link at the bottom to the Eventbrite. Hope to see everybody there. Oh, I do need to buy my camera that I'm going to take pictures of people for my little album so that I can remember people's names and online names for reference. I mean, I feel like I know, like, even when we're at this glimmer of hope, I saw a bunch of people who I definitely have said hi to many a time. They've introduced themselves. I don't know their name, and like, it's bad. So I feel bad because everyone knows my name. I don't know if because it's easier because of the YouTube channel, but everybody knows my name and I feel bad I don't know other people's names. So that's why I'm going to make this album. I got to buy that camera. Maybe I'll do it today. But basically, I'm going to get like a Polaroid camera so that I can take their picture, they can write their name, and then maybe like their Discord handle or whatever their name is on PlayHub underneath it. I can put it in my little album so I can have reference as to who people are. And then if you find me, you can also use my little book as reference. Yeah, I definitely will get it before Richmond because there's a ton of people, I feel like, where I'll be like, oh, I saw so-and-so. And they're like, who? And I'm like, that like, because I won't know their name. I'll be like, oh, I saw that one guy. And they're like, who? And I'm like, the like white guy who's like really nice. And they're like, that's literally everybody. And I'm like, the one who's like brown hair. And they're like, that's everybody. And I'm like, with glasses. And like, that doesn't, not narrowing it down at all. So yeah. And like random factoids about people. Like, for example, sometimes I get confused and I'm like, oh, the guy we went to dinner with, the Pizza Hut guy. And they're like, who are you talking about? So yeah, that's why I need to make the album. And that's it, I think. I don't have anything else to add. So in summary, I got a cool Lotso bear. We played in a cute tournament for charity, raised $1,000. We're playing in a tournament in 2 weekends. I'm not sure if we're going to play in any Infinity events. And then we'll see everybody at TLC Rich. And then after that, Ghent. Oh, I still need to buy airplane tickets for Ghent. That reminds me. And then still waiting to see when they're going to announce like Taiwan or mainland China so that I can sign up and go and see my family. I mean, I could see my family otherwise, but this would be like a good excuse. All right, that's it. As always, keep shuffling. Check out the TCG Player Store. Hopefully, don't end up with a whole handful of non-inkables like he. All right, bye.